Joining us now, former communications director for the Trump 2020 campaign, Erin Perrine, Axiom Strategies. She was also the press communications director for the Trump 2020 campaign. Thanks a lot for being here. Appreciate it. All right, so how seriously should we be taking this, specifically with regard to the Bannon comments and more broadly?
I think specifically to the Bannon comments, there's not much to worry about. If President Trump had wanted to go after Andy McCabe, he would have done that already when he was the sitting president at the time. More largely, though, especially to the further right portions of the Republican Party, there are many who believe that the DOJ and the FBI have been weaponized. And now you add in Republicans adding in lawfare, using the legal system against their political adversaries. Those are two things that Republicans are going to continue to talk about. On the weaponization side, whether it's the DOJ or the FBI, this goes beyond Donald Trump, and Donald Trump's message is always, I'm standing in the way from them getting to you. He can point to that with the DOJ sending the letter out against parents at school board meetings, calling them and liking them to terrorists. Republicans will continue to say that government is weaponized and lawfared against them, and Trump is not only the victim, but stopping other citizens from being victims as well.
Understood. Look, I've talked to a lot of Republican legislators about this. I've asked them about why there's so many more Democrats who are being charged by the DOJ and investigated, et cetera. And we go back and forth on this. But what I guess I'm talking about is less the claim of weaponization and more the action. That will there in this next because I have sort of minimized it, right? The idea that when every left-leaning show talks about, oh, the next is going to be retribution, 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 you know, I've sort of said, I don't know. And then when I see him actually send out Bannon's comments about it, it starts to make me think maybe he's serious about this.
There's a difference between sharing an article about somebody else's view and you yourself espousing it and saying that this is exactly what you're going to do. Donald Trump, in and of himself, has not uttered the same words that Steve Bannon has. True. So I do think that taking the pragmatic, middle-of-the-road approach here, which is that you've got to kind of believe it at bluster at this point and take it at face value when it becomes face value, I think that's more important at this point than it is about a post about somebody else's words.
This is what he said at CPAC. This is number 3. Let's listen.
In 2016, I declared, I am your voice. Today, I add, I am your warrior. I am your justice. And for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution. I am your retribution.
See, I don't see that as being the equivalent to what Steve Bannon is saying about literally going and prosecuting political enemies. That, to me, feels like political rhetoric.
I think you're completely correct, Dan. That is much more political rhetoric than what you see from Steve Bannon, who not only has made the claim about chasing down Andy McCabe, but has previously, to your point earlier in the segment, said that these aren't just words, this will actually happen. Donald Trump is giving a political speech at the Conservative Political Action Conference saying he is going to fight and be the fighter for the American people, especially those who have been left behind. The message has altered a little bit from 2015, 2016, when it was Make America Great Again, let's bring everybody along, to now, I'm here to protect and fight and guard. It's much more of a defensive stance than it is a forward-looking, optimistic stance.
Do you think he's going to pardon all the January 6th folks? I would think that would be a real travesty if he were to do that. But do you think he'll do that?
I don't know whether or not he will do that. There are so many major issues facing the nation right now at this exact moment, whether it comes to immigration, the economy, the border, geopolitical issues all across the world. We should be looking at a president who goes in on day one and says, what can I do first and foremost to protect and make the American people stronger, not about old issues that were from previous campaign cycles.
We hope. we hope. That's what either candidate will do, right?
We always want the best from our politicians.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We want the best. Doesn't mean they're going to do it. All right. Erin Perrine, thank you so much for coming on the show. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.